This is episode 77 of the After Gambling Podcast. And in this episode, I'm going to share what my goals are for you, the listener. Hey there, and welcome back to another edition of the After Gambling Podcast. My name is Jamie. I am a former problem gambler. Now I do this little podcast to kind of create a bridge to recovery for people that are looking for it from gambling addiction. Maybe it's for themselves or for friends or family members. So I kind of share all my thoughts, opinions, insights that I've gained over 10 and a half years, just to help make that journey a little bit easier, to get you started on that journey. Now, as I kind of restart the podcast, I really wanted to start off today by sharing what my goals are for you. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of looking at my life and my experiences and seeing my progression and seeing where I am today. And that's kind of what I'm going to share, a little bit of where I am today, because a lot of it lines up with where I want you to get. And we'll continue on. This journey is not done for me. It's not done for you. But ultimately, where I am today is kind of that end phase. So I guess I'll first start off by just kind of sharing where I am. I'm in a place where I'm pretty damn free, mentally, emotionally, financially, all those things. I no longer have all those constraints that were once upon me. And it's been a lot of hard work. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's been 10 and a half years. It's been a difficult journey at times. But now I'm to this place where I just feel this kind of ease. Life has gotten a lot easier. And I know when we're gambling, like, we want to get back to that place because we probably experienced it before. Or we hope that gambling would get us to this place where we have these freedoms. We don't have all these worries about things. And now that I'm feeling that again, I just wanted to share kind of that is where I want to get you. So it's not so much even a place. I know abstinence is obviously one of the early goals that we have, but I don't think that's the destination. My destination for you, and that's why I changed the podcast name to Life After Gambling Podcast, because it's what do we do to move forward, to continue to grow and develop and get to a place where we just have freedom. And ultimately, that's all this is mental freedom, emotional freedom. And it's something that I still struggle with, seeing people as they're kind of moving through the stages and maybe the anger still has them or the regret still has them. And I know this because I had those things, and I know how it held me back from getting to this place where I just kind of, I call it my DGAF attitude. And you can Google search that if you don't know what it is, but it's pretty easy to figure out. But it's not that I don't care about anything. It's that I care appropriately. I understand things and am able to emotionally separate things from kind of just the truths. And I'm able to apply appropriate attention, appropriate emotional attention to these things in my life so that they don't consume me. They don't just kind of drag me down anymore. And ultimately, that's the place that I want you to get, because I want everybody to get there. And that's why, in a lot of ways, these things go well beyond gambling. Gambling was just kind of the vice that I used and that you probably used as an escape from the things in my life that I was really struggling with. Right? When we dig in and really start to see, like, why was it? It's like, well, I didn't have that conversation with my friend or relative, or I went through this really hard time, or a breakup, or an injury. We have all these things that happen to us in life because things happen to us in life and they're hard. And we have, unfortunately, these products out there. Gambling's one of them. Alcohol's another. Shopping, work. It doesn't matter. We have all these different outlets that we can use to get away from those things and kind of put a Band-Aid on them and hope that they go away. But I think what I've come to realize is that my stuff, it was never going to just go away. Like, there was nothing I was going to be able to cover it up with enough for those underlying emotions and struggles to go away. And now that I kind of accept that and work through those things and continue to work through those things, I have a freedom and an ease that I just never had before. So when I first started off and abstinence was the goal, just to become a non-gambler, now I look at it and that's not enough for me. And hopefully that's not enough for you, that you want to move beyond that phase to just kind of further developing your life, because life is great. Now, to share some of the things that have really helped get me to this place of freedom, I thought it was also important that I share some of these main topics here in this episode on what I want from you, because they're going to be foundational for the stuff that I'm going to talk about later on. And it will all make sense knowing this is the framework. And I fear that if I hold off and make separate episodes on these topics, then maybe the early episodes won't make as much sense. So the first thing is just mindset. And I talked about this before, about it's amazing. I don't love it. Not going to lie. I don't love it that I can choose to feel certain ways, because sometimes I just want to not have that responsibility, right? I want to say, well, no, that person did something to me and it's their fault. But now that I just take complete ownership of things, it's like, well, but I'm choosing. I am making a choice, and that is mindset. And I mentioned before, I think Carol Dweck's book, Mindset, is one that everybody should definitely read. And it really highlights the fact that we choose how we interpret the world. And we can choose to go in and look for the good things or to look for the bad things. And not surprisingly, depending on how we choose to approach things, the outcomes tend to follow suit. So one of the biggest light bulb moments for me, and as I said, this is a constant work in progress. It is not perfect, but is to just notice and realize and accept that how I interpret things around me is completely up to me. I can't control what other people do to me. I can't control always the environment that I'm placed in. And some environments are much more difficult than others. And do I wish they were different to make life easier for me? Of course I do. We all do. We'd all love to have an environment that was perfectly suited for our individual needs. But we can't expect that's going to happen. And so the alternative is that we can decide how we want to view those events, what value we want to give to them, what meaning we want to apply to them. And it is all mindset. It is all in our heads. And I'm telling you, this will annoy you. I promise you one thing. As you start to apply this in your life, you will get annoyed. You are going to say, Jamie, screw that. It was so much easier to just point fingers and say, well, no, but they shouldn't have done that. And yeah, you're right. They shouldn't have done that. And you can control how you respond to it. I can control how I respond to it. And it doesn't mean we're perfect. It doesn't mean we're going to get it right. It just means that we're aware of it. And that's one of the first steps, is just being aware of the things around us, how they influence us, how they make us feel, what they influence in our thoughts. And when we do that and we start to think through, okay, how can I control this to get to the outcome I want? Then the mindset starts to lead to better actions, better responses. And ultimately, when we get to the point where we're essentially bubble wrapped or insulated from the world based on our own choice, not because the world has bubble wrapped itself for us, nothing can really hurt us. There's nothing that anybody can say or do that can truly have an impact on our lives. Will it? Absolutely. But we control what that level of response is. And it doesn't mean that we shouldn't become upset. Emotions are absolutely normal, and we should have normal emotions. That's not what I'm saying here. All I'm saying is that we can be mindful of controlling our response or trying to influence our response so that we don't go sort of outside the buoys. We want to keep it inside the buoys, as Jimmy Buffett likes to say, so that we don't get too extreme, right? Because as long as we're kind of in that middle ground, okay, hey, we take some things that we don't like, we balance them off. It wasn't great, but we work it through. We just don't want to get to a place where we're so outside that those are the things that really kind of set us off and set us down a path where now it's like, okay, I'm going back to gambling. I'm going to drink. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to do these different things as the coping mechanism. So I'm going to be referring to mindset quite a bit. Grab Carol Dweck's book, read through it, or listen to it if you're like me and listen to all your books, because that one's going to be huge, I think, for getting to this place where you feel just free and easy. The second thing I wanted to talk about today are tiny little gains, compound interest, getting 1% better each day. Those small little things repeated over time that so many of the greats have used. When you really study people's autobiographies, it's something that has come up, and it's a trend that I've seen in so many people's things. Their successes, from Tiger Woods to Michael Jordan to Steve Jobs to Jeff Bezos, they all talk about these compound gains. All we got to do is get a little bit better, because then when we get a little bit better on top of that, all of a sudden you compound these small little 1% gains and they add up incredibly. And to prove this point, get out a calculator, open up a spreadsheet, or just do the math on paper. Start with 100 and multiply it by 2%. All right, now you got 102%. Now multiply it by 2%. The numbers keeps getting bigger. Do that, whatever percentage you pick. Do that out 5, 10, 20, 30 times. And look at how much different the number becomes. And they're just all these small little changes that in the moment you don't even really notice. It's kind of like that mindset. Like you slightly change and you don't get as upset. And then the next time it happens, you're even less upset. And then the next time it happens, you basically don't even respond. And that's where like on each one, you maybe didn't notice the change, but it starts to build and it builds that momentum. And compound interest is one of those things that once you get it going for you, The book I love is The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. And he talks about like all these things that we can do in our life. They're so easy to do to change our lives. Eating, finance, health, relationships, just these little things, saying I love you to people each day. Like there are these small little things. And in the moment, we just kind of discard them as being meaningless. But when you do those over time, they compound and they create exponential growth. I mean, it becomes that growth curve where it's flat, 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 flat. And all of a sudden it starts to spike and then it just goes straight up to the sky because those gains compound. And that's what we want. We want to just kind of look at doing small things. I look back at the 10.5 years and I can't pick like one little thing. There's books that help me, but it's like a little bit here, a little bit there. All right, a little bit more. All right, now I got this. Now I don't have to worry about that concept. I kind of have that. I grasp it. Compound gains, compound gains. Just keep focusing on making these little small adjustments throughout your day. And the beautiful thing is you can use the same things that you use with stopping gambling on these compound gains, these life-changing things, these changing thoughts and changing mindset. When you notice that you're doing it well, high five yourself. Say, hey, good job. Compound gain. Moving on. When you struggle or when you have a thought, it's like, okay, hey, hold on. That's the thought. Now I'm going to choose to respond to this differently and then celebrate it. Same stuff. We can apply these same lessons to all areas of our life. So once you know how to quit gambling, I mean, the stuff that I talked about early in the podcast about how to quit gambling, it applies to all areas of our life. And I think that's why I wanted to come back and start this new series, Series 6, where I talked about things that went beyond just gambling and talked about life. I mean, I know I've always kind of gone there before, but now I really wanted to get into it because these things, when we can apply these things, we already know how to do them. Apply them across our entire life. And that's what I've been able to do. And I'm seeing the benefits. And I come back to share those because I enjoy it. I'm loving the things that it's doing for my life. And I want it for your life. So yeah, you signed up for a podcast that would start to give you some information on how somebody quit gambling, right? Now, hopefully, we're going to get some new information, which will hopefully start you down a journey where you can expand on all the things that you've learned through your journey of quitting gambling and apply it to other areas of your life. Because why not? I mean, we YOLO this, right? You only live once. Why not apply these things to other areas of our life? If we know how to do it, I mean, that's the compounding interest. We know it in one area, perfect. Apply it somewhere else. It becomes easier each time. You don't have to relearn everything from scratch. So it's my hope that as you use these things, along with all the tools that are out there, the therapist, talking to your doctor, working with a financial planner, hopping on Reddit and talking to other people in the Reddit group, using online GA meetings, connecting to other people, sharing your story, all these things compound. And each little one, don't think any of them are too small. And that's, you don't have to do these grand, big acts like we always thought in the past. It's like, okay, I mean, if we're stopping, it's like, I'm never having a cheeseburger ever again. Like those are the things that never work, right? We know those things don't work because we look back and they never worked in the past. They maybe worked for a short amount of time, but we got fatigued. So we got to do these things, these small little things with momentum and focusing on the mindset. The mindset helps to move us through. So even on the hard days, it's like, yeah, this is going to be really hard, which is cool because it's not going to be boring. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be new and fresh. And it's all in that mindset shift. All we got to do is tell ourselves a different story and we'll get a different outcome. So hopefully as we move through these and I share some more of my thoughts on the things that I've really learned in the last 10.5 years and applied broadly to my life, hopefully they start to help you. The mindset shift, focusing on these tiny little gains. And then I have a bunch of new stuff coming up here in the next few episodes. Because like I said at the beginning, I just want everybody to kind of have a nice, easygoing, enjoyable life. I think we all, especially we deserve it after this last 12 months. It's been hard. It's been very, very difficult for all of us. So hopefully this stuff will help you in other areas and just make you kind of live a nice, easy, relaxing life with great perspective. Because I think that's ultimately what we all want. We just want freedom. And that's what I want for you. Now, as I said in the episode, remember, I am just a guy with a gambling problem that shares my story. It's for informational purposes only. Please seek out the help of a professional, therapist, doctor, attorney, financial planner, somebody that can work on your situation one-on-one. And like I said in the last one, jokingly, I don't want to meet your lawyer, so understand that this is for informational purposes only. Use it to get some ideas started in your head, but please seek out professional help before applying it to your life. And then finally, music for the show is Something Elated by Broke for Free and is licensed under the Creative Commons license. My name is Jamie. I'm a former problem gambler, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.